Welcome to another episode of Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman, coming to you from the CDS Office Technology Studio in downtown Quincy. And unfortunately, the Tonto to my Lone Ranger is not here tonight. My trusty sidekick, Sports Director Chris Stewart, is on assignment. He made the long road trip to Mendota tonight to wrangle up some highlights of the Quincy Notre Dame boys soccer team's super sectional battle with Mendota. And as we speak, with 31 minutes to play in the second half, Quincy Notre Dame is trailing Mendota 1-0. So we will have a full and complete highlight package coming up for you tomorrow morning at muddyriversports.com from that game. But we got a lot of football to talk about, and we're going to talk some basketball tonight. So looking forward to tonight's show. Got some great guests lined up. And again, we're in playoff mode. Teams are, we are in our coverage. I mean, it's November. It feels like football weather out there, and every game matters to the nth degree right now. So coming up tonight, we're going to be joined around 7:15 by Camp Point Central offensive coordinator Casey Ray as the Panthers get set for a Class 1A second-round playoff game against Brown County. And as luck would have it, at 7:30, we're going to have Brown County coach Tom Little join us on the Hess Auto Agency hotline to talk about that game coming up. That game will be 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon in Camp Point. The two teams met in Week 6 of the regular season. Now it's time for the rematch. Should be a blast. Also coming up this hour, we will talk to Monroe City coach David Kirby. That's coming up at 7:45. Monroe City also with a rematch this week in district play. Monroe City will be taking on Palmyra. Palmyra with an opening round victory over Clark County last Friday night. So the Mayor's Cup Part 2 coming up Friday night in Monroe City at Langford Field. So we're looking forward to that. We'll have some fun ways to preview that matchup as the week goes on. Never know. Maybe even have a player from each school sitting on the tailgate of the truck with me as the week goes on. We'll see what happens as we head out through the week. It's only Monday. We got all week to prep and get you prepared for all these playoff matchups. Another team still in the playoffs that we will talk to at the top of the 8 o'clock hour is Macomb's Tanner Horrell. You know, the Bombers with a first-round victory. And so they'll be at home this week taking on Geneseo at the Tarmac. So we're going to talk to him at the top of hour number 2. And then we're going to get into some basketball talk. Quincy High School girls basketball coach Brad Dance will be joining us right here in the studio. The Blue Devils with their first official practice of the year today. Today was the first day Illinois high school girls basketball teams could practice in preparation for their season openers. So we'll talk to him about the Blue Devils. Loaded team. It's going to be a fun winter for the Blue Devils. A lot of talent out there. A lot of college coaches interested in that talent. So we'll talk about some of that. And I got an inkling, and I know I'm going to be right on this, that Coach Dance is going to want to talk about the Dodgers winning the World Series. He's one of the biggest Dodgers fans I know. And you know what? I've never asked him why. So we're going to ask him that tonight, how he became a Dodgers fan, because I know it's going to come up. The Dodgers did win the World Series in extra innings in Game 7. So he's going to rub it in a little bit because he knows I'm a Cardinals fan, but that's all right. That's how it goes. But again, we also have the adjustment of the week brought to you by Justin Chiropractic, Dr. J. And it's one that happened very early in a game, but had a major impact on one of the district battles last Friday night. So we'll get to that. And we got Shuck 'em Up, brought to you by Platte Daddy Barbecue, coming up in hour number 2 as well. And this hit of the week is a big one. You know, we've gone back and forth. We've had some plays of the week. We've had some hits of the week. Saw this play on video, had to be the hit of the week. So coming up, and his head coach will be on the show tonight. A little teaser for you. Anyway, so again, we are into week 2 of the playoffs on both sides of the river. Illinois will be second round of the playoffs. On the Missouri side, we are in the semifinals of district play. So we'll have Missouri games on Friday night. We only have 2 Illinois games in our coverage area. On Saturday. You know, Brown County will be at Camp Point Central, Geneseo at Macomb. We'll have complete coverage of both of those affairs coming up this weekend. But with that said, we're also going to be watching to see what happens in some other games. Jacksonville's still alive. You know, Quincy Notre Dame lost to Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin. Potentially, Sacred Heart Griffin and Rochester could meet in the third round, like in the state quarterfinals. So we're going to monitor what happens with those games this weekend. And then in Class 1A, in the same quadrant that Brown County and Central are in, you've got Calhoun and you've got Carrollton. Carrollton, more than likely, if Carrollton could beat Dupo, you'd have an all WIVC matchup in the third round with Brown County or Central playing Carrollton. And you could have an all WIVC matchup in the state semifinals if you could get to Calhoun against one of those teams. So, again, the South is loaded with WIVC talent. The truck will be parked in the end zone at Camp Point this weekend. Looking forward to it. Talked to Coach Dixon today. I got to get there really early because they're going to open the gates early. And he said last week for a 1 o'clock kickoff, they had people lining up at 10:30 a.m., 2.5 hours prior to kickoff to get in the game. That tells you how passionate people are about Camp Point Central football. And I know how passionate they are about Brown County football. I think the place is going to be overloaded with people on Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have complete coverage of that coming up. Let's run through some of the scores. Quick update, though. Quincy Notre Dame scored. It is 1-1, Quincy Notre Dame and Mendota with 26 minutes to play. So interesting things happening in Mendota. Again, Chris Dewar is there. He will bring you a complete highlight package. And as I speak, Mendota just took a 2-1 lead. So it's going to be an interesting final 26 minutes to see what happens. Oh, maybe not. I'm trying to see what's going on here. Okay. We got to get back to the show. I'll look at the highlights later because, Chris Dewar is going to have us covered. All right, we're going to go to the playoff scoreboard from last weekend. We're going to start on the Illinois side. In the Class 4A bracket, Macomb took out Country Club Hills Hillcrest 21-6. Dynamic defensive effort from the Bombers. Go back and look at our Muddy River Blitz from Sunday morning. Chris Dewar did an amazing package on what took place in Macomb on Saturday. So you can go check that out. Their defense was dynamite. So, again, and that pushes them into the second round. They will be at home again at the Tarmac, the Bombers will. They'll be taking on Geneseo, a Geneseo team that took it to Quincy High School in Week 9, won its first-round game. Bombers are going to have their hands full defensively again this week, but if they play anything like they did last week, they're going to be up to the test. Another 4A playoff game that I was at specifically, Sacred Heart Griffin beat Quincy Notre Dame 27-18 at Advanced Physical Therapy Field. Cyclones were really good, and they did a great job of disrupting Quincy Notre Dame's offense with their pressure. Did a great job up front defensively of owning the line of scrimmage a lot of times. And Quincy Notre Dame had a lot of trouble getting the balls into the hands of its playmakers. And it's something they hadn't had trouble with all season, but there were moments during that game it was hard to get the ball in the hands of a Gavin Dolman or a Jace Allensworth or a Braden Smith. They hung in there. They gave themselves an opportunity, scored late to make it a 9-point game, went for the onside kick, didn't recover it, and that was the end of it. So Quincy Notre Dame ends its season at 7-3. Sacred Heart Griffin advances with a 7-3 record. Great year for the Raiders all around. Just couldn't get past that Sacred Heart Griffin bugaboo. Lost to the Cyclones in the regular season, lost again to them in the first round of the playoffs. So that's your 4A, Class 4A scores from teams in our area. In Class 6A, Quincy High School went on the road, and Crete-Monee, 73-34, believed to be the most points Quincy High School has allowed in program history. I know it's the most points allowed since 1996. I started doing some digging, trying to go back further into the archives. I got pretty far into my archives, and still hadn't found a team that had scored more than that or as many as that at any point against the Blue Devils. The most I've witnessed was when Mount Carmel came here 2 years ago in the playoffs and scored 61 points in the state quarterfinals. And that Mount Carmel team went on to win the Class 7A state championship, probably could very well win the 8A state championship this year. That Mount Carmel team's a juggernaut. So the fact it put up 61 points in any playoff game isn't a super shocker. Crete-Monee scoring 73 points. And Quincy hung in there. I mean, for a while. It just not enough big plays to run with Crete-Monee. Hunter Schuckman, I believe it was 461 yards passing, single game school record. I mean, Quincy tried all it could to stay in that game, and it just didn't happen. Crete Monee was just too good, too explosive, made too many big plays. So the Blue Devils end their season with a 5-5 record. Also in Illinois this past weekend, in Class 1A, Camp Point Central beat Winchester West Central 44-0. Again, Camp Point Central beat the Cougars 50-8, I believe, in week 1. Not a surprise that they took care of business in week 1 at home, or week 1 of the playoffs at home. So it sets up the rematch with Brown County. As you can see, we got both helmets right here on the desk tonight. Brown County coming off a 48-0 victory over Athens. The Hornets were incredibly impressive, especially coming off the Week 9 loss at Calhoun, where they got beat up a little bit and had some guys get some nicks and knacks and some bumps and some bruises. And it was going to be interesting to see how that played out. And the Hornets showed up in a big way. Also in Class 1A, Dwight takes out Rushville Industry. I have a typo on my screen. I just realized I never typed in Rushville Industry's final score. It was 29-26. My bad on the graphic part of it, but 29-26, Dwight beat Rushville Industry. And again, you can go check out highlights and stories from all of these playoff games on the Muddy River Blitz that was up on Sunday morning at muddyriversports.com. In Class 2A, Wilmington takes care of West Hancock 70-8, and Rockridge beat Illini West 56-12. Really no shockers there. Wilmington, huge pedigree, huge history, a powerhouse program, and a really good team this year as well. Rockridge, number 1 ranked team in Class 2A, loaded. Last Friday night on the Missouri side, we had district openers. Palmyra beat Clark County 69-18 in a Class 2 district. Macon beat Mark Twain 48-6. Highland in Class 1A took care of Milan 42-7. And Louisiana with a 42-7 victory over Veritas Academy. So all those teams advanced to this week's semifinals. We got some big games coming up on the Missouri side. And again, everything on the Missouri side is Friday night. Everything on the Illinois side, for the most part, is Saturday. I think there's a few Friday night games sprinkled in there, but as we move forward into the playoffs, more and more games are going to be played just on Saturday in Illinois. You know, we still have the district championships in Missouri, which will be, a little more than a week away. It'll be a week from Friday. Those will be on Friday night again, and we could have some really interesting matchups, especially when you look at the schedule coming up this weekend. On the Missouri side, we got some big games. Palmyra at Monroe City. I don't have a Palmyra helmet or a Monroe City helmet, or we could have had them on the desk as well, since we have such big rivalry games this week. We'll have to work on that. We'll see if we can get a Palmyra helmet and a Monroe City helmet in here at some point. I know it's too late tonight, but it'd be fun to have those in here as well to highlight what's going on in our area. And again, we're going to talk about that game later. This hour, Monroe City coach David Kirby will be joining us about around 7:45. I've already got plans to go to Palmyra practice on Wednesday, so we're going to do a little fun. Maybe shuck on a truck. You never know what we can come up with. So I'm going to head over to Palmyra to the Flower City on Wednesday. We're going to also try to get over to Monroe City Wednesday. So maybe we'll, who knows, if all plays out well, maybe we'll have dueling shuck on a trucks for the part 2 of the Mayor's Cup this year. So again, plenty to talk about as the night goes on. We appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Again, without my trusty sidekick, Chris Dewar, he is on assignment tonight. He is in Mendota, currently with 20 minutes to go in the game. Mendota is leading Quincy Notre Dame 2-1. So we'll see what happens there. And I failed to mention, we got a big volleyball happening this week. Hannibal in the state Final Four. Our guy Shane Holsey will be traveling to St. Joe, Missouri to cover the Pirates. We'll mention that a little later as well. But we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we're going to head to the Hess Auto Agency hotline and break it down. Camp Point Central offensive coordinator Casey Ray is going to be joining us. So make sure you stick around. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
Since 1985, Hess Auto Agency has been your trusted source for pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area. Families have experienced the Hess difference for generations and know they'll get the best vehicle buying experience in our region. With an ever-changing inventory, you'll find the right car at the right price. So when you want the best, Don't guess. Choose Hess. Hess Auto Agency, 1124 North 24th in Quincy.
Top 5 reasons you should choose
Blessing Raymond College.
small classes, peer tutoring, and lots of personal attention.
Financial aid opportunities, including grants, scholarship, and loan forgiveness.
Successful outcomes from pass rates to job placement.
Hands-on learning, clinical experience at multiple sites, and no wait list.
The Simulation Center.
Master clinical skills in this state-of-the-art facility.
Be ready for anything.
What are you waiting for?
Enroll with Blessing Raymond College today.
Kitchen and Bath Gallery of Quincy. Trained craftsmen and expert contractors with friendly professional service. Our design team helps with every step of the process, guiding you from a vision to reality with uncompromised service. Trust your home to the local experts. Get a free quote today. From concept to creation, Kitchen and Bath create remarkable spaces and innovative builds. Kitchen and Bath Gallery, your home reimagined.
Are you as excited as we are that football season is back? Then you need to make Jersey's your one-stop destination for mouth-watering burgers, ice-cold beer, and all your local sporting events. So gather your crew and speed over to one of Jersey's 2 locations, 109 East Jefferson and Camp Point, or 115 East Main Street, Mount Sterling. Jersey's Bar and Grill, your hometown sports bar.
We love beer!
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, live from the CDS Office Technology Studios in downtown Quincy.
Matt Schuckman here in the downtown Quincy studio for another episode of Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. And we're going to go straight to the Hess Auto Agency hotline to talk about one of the big rivalry games this weekend in the second round of the Class 1A state playoffs, as Camp Point Central Offensive Coordinator Casey Ray joins us. Coach, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good, Shuck. Thanks for having me on. Having a little trouble hearing you right now.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll make sure. If we lose you, we'll call you back. But I think we're okay. I can hear you pretty good.
Hey, that's good. That's good now. That's
okay.
Good.
All right. Good. I know it's a big football week, but I also know you had a little basketball tonight. Is it fun to step away from football for just a little bit?
Oh yeah. When you get in the midst of there's just the entire season, really.
Yeah.
You get kind of lost in the weeds of game planning, and your mind's always going, trying to figure out what you need to do on the upcoming game and try to get your team as ready as possible. And then, it's good to have distractions every now and again. And so, yeah, my kid, my middle child, Hudson's playing up here in Colchester tonight. The junior high basketball season started already. So it was good. He got a win.
Good. That's a good way to start the year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and if that carries over to good vibes for you guys come Saturday, even better, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I hope there's some connection there. That'd be great.
Obviously, you guys knew this was a possibility facing Brown County in the second round. After all played out on Saturday, you knew they had won, you guys had won. Did the focus immediately go, okay, let's get ready for Brown County?
I think every time you play a game is an opportunity to look back at the film and the things that you did well, you need to highlight, and the things you didn't do well, we need to attack and try to find a way to get better. I think that's always the first thing.
Okay.
That you do, in terms of the next day. I think we do a pretty good job of taking a day or so, especially in a playoff game. You play at 1, but you're really out there the entire day. The game's over at 3 or 4, and then you go home and, you have a little get together, and then you enjoy the day. And then the next day, up and early, and then you get after it, And so, Sunday we broke down our film, and then we started attacking the Brown County game.
Well, and again, this isn't an unfamiliar opponent. Yes, there are nuances to everything that you have to adjust to, and it's not the same team as they were in week 6. You're not the same team as you were in week 6. But do you go back and look at the old game plan or the old scouting report just to have a feel for how to get ready for this week?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There's always things that change from week to week, like you said, but in terms of the personnel, there might have new guys and new spots, but generally speaking, there's a lot of carryover. You don't need to reinvent the wheel every single time you play, but there's always going to be something that you need to change, have a little tweak here and there. We didn't do some things well in week 6, and I'm sure they're saying the same thing. So, you can go back and look at old game plans, but you really got to try to focus on where we are right now and what we can do.
Well, and you guys have been through this enough over your tenure there alongside Brad and all your – you got so many coaches that have been through this. Does it make it easier to prepare when you've been through it as much as you guys have?
I think in terms of routine, there's a routine that you go through from week to week, from game to game, and that's hard to kind of break out of. And I found a good way to kind of break down a previous game and move on to the next opponent. And, there really is a process that you need to follow, in my opinion. And from week to week, it's really the same routine and process. We try to figure out different ways we can get certain guys the ball, and how much do we need to change? How are we going to block everything up front? I coach the O-line.
Yep.
And there's always that level of it. I love being able to call plays and know for sure that our guys up front know what they're doing. It's one of the best things that I've got going for me is I spend a lot of time with our guys up front, and I have a lot of trust in them, and they've done a great job this year. So, when I'm game planning and thinking about the way that we're going to try to run the football and throw the football, I've got a really good idea of what our guys can do up front.
We're talking with Camp Point Central offensive coordinator Casey Ray. Casey, you bring up the guys up front. What have you been most pleased with this group? Because this group has really stuck together, done a great job of blocking, but a great job of also just controlling the line of scrimmage week in and week out.
Yeah, I'd say I'm really most proud of their effort. It's not something that we really have to coach for these guys up front. They really play their tails off for the most part. You can find a play here or there, and we always need to be reminded that it's every football plays an average of 6 seconds, and you've got to play hard 6 seconds at a time. And I've really been very pleased with our guys up front and their effort. It's kind of on me. It's kind of my job to make sure that they know where they're going and how they're going to get there and what are they going to do when they get there. And that's kind of my job, in terms of what they do on the field, though. I have no part in that. And these guys have taken complete ownership up front. They communicate very well. And boy, they have gotten off the ball extremely well in a couple games this year. I've been very proud of their pad level and what they do physically to our opponents.
I love how you broke it down that an average play is 6 seconds. You don't think about that when a game's being played, that each play is just such a little short spurt. But that 6 seconds can be the difference in an entire game, can it?
Oh, yeah. An average play can be 6 seconds. Obviously some shorter, some longer.
Yeah.
And even up front, a lot of times but by the time a ball carrier gets through the hole on some plays, it's as quick as a second. And sometimes, wider in the C gap or D gap, it can be 2 or 2.5 seconds by the time the ball shows up your way. So, it can seem like an eternity for those guys up front holding those blocks against some of these guys that we've got to play against. We have a great conference.
Yes.
And we're challenged, each and every year by somebody who's going to try to match our physicality, and they usually do. Brown County is one of those opponents, and so 6 seconds on Saturday can seem like a long time.
Well, and think about it. You bring up the conference. Look at all the teams from the WIVC that are still in the playoffs. I mean, it speaks volumes to how competitive the conference is.
Yeah. We knew that when the bracket came out, I think in terms of our coaching staff, that we expected everybody to kind of move on from the first round, and that's what happened.
Yep.
It had to be either us or West Central in round one. But the rest of the teams in the conference, we thought were going to move on, and and it was that way. We've got a really great conference with a lot of really good coaches and a lot of different schemes, and our conference does a great job getting you ready for the Class 1A playoffs. There's no doubt about it.
Well, and one of the things that sets you apart in that conference is your ability to spread the football. I mean, how many different guys have rushed the ball this year? I think it's at least 9 guys have scored a rushing touchdown. As an offensive coordinator, how much fun is it to go, okay, I can dial this up for this guy, and the next time go, okay, I can give it to this guy, and you have so many weapons. How much fun is that?
It's a lot of fun. I think the most fun is for the kids. It's really great knowing that, when they come to practice, they have a vested interest in it, and a lot of times if you just give the ball to one or two kids the entire year, I think it's natural for a teenager to lose interest. And I think we grab everybody's attention and we keep it throughout the season that way. Not only that, but it saves a lot of our runners, a lot of hits, and a lot of, I don't player load, if that's the right word,
Yeah.
but it saves them a lot of energy throughout the year. It's a violent game, and we've been really blessed, and I'm really grateful for the guys that have come through and bought into it, because it's not easy. We've had a lot of guys that could have easily had, 1,500, maybe even 2,000 yards, but they bought in.
Well, and that's a great thing. And another side of that is you've been able to see a lot of guys develop as quarterbacks, whether it's been for 1 year, 2 years, in a case of like Nick Moore, multiple years, and you've got that now with Caleb Niekamp. What about him reminds you of some of the good quarterbacks you've coached? Because he's had a great year of guiding your offense.
Cale's poise, I think, is probably the thing that kind of separates him. All of those guys have a lot of similar characteristics, in terms of if you're comparing Nick to, say, Cale, I think both of those guys just have a high level of poise. They don't buckle under pressure. We ask him to make a lot of throws, him and Nick, and we don't throw it a lot, but when we do, they need to be big plays.
Right.
And Cale has done a phenomenal job really putting the ball in the money for the most part. He's really, really improved a lot since his freshman year. And I can't be more happy for a kid, especially after the first couple of games his freshman year. We kind of moved him back away from the quarterback spot for a while. And I think that was probably the best thing that happened to him. We got him some carries at fullback at the JV level, and now he's carrying the ball for us from time to time. But his poise in the pocket, his footwork, he's been very crisp, and he's on time. He's making great throws. I've been very, very happy with Cale this year.
Last one for you. What's Coach Dixon like on game week? I know it's only Monday. Is he intense all week, or does he have a little fun as well?
Well, we spend a lot of time together. And, we eat lunch together in his office. My prep period and his prep period have been the same for a long time. Now he's athletic director, but during my prep hour, we go down there and we'll plan out practice. And it takes a lot of energy out of both of us. So what's he like during game week? He's trying to find every single way that we can probably lose the game. I'd say if anybody, who has sat in on any of those talks, I don't think that's too far from the truth. And so he does a really good job of making sure we have, batten down the hatches kind of attitude, make sure everything's ready to go, where, we're not going to make a mistake that's going to cost us a game. We're going to plan out practice to the minute. And we're going to make sure we're not just doing the same old thing every single day. We're going to make sure we're working on things we need to work on. And, is it still fun? Yeah. We love game planning. We love that aspect. We've got a great school and a great community, and, we've got another home playoff game. So that part of it's definitely fun.
Well, you wouldn't
throughout the week. Yeah.
I was going to say, you wouldn't be doing it all these years if you didn't love it.
Right. Yep. Totally.
Awesome. Casey, thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight. I know you had junior high basketball to deal with, But really appreciate you giving us a few minutes on some insight into the Panthers.
Yeah, thank you, Shuck. I really appreciate you having me on.
Oh, it was great, and I will see you on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see you down there, Chuck.
All
We'll
right.
save a spot for you.
I appreciate it. We'll see you Saturday. Thanks, Casey.
Yep.
That was Camp Point Central Offensive Coordinator Casey Ray joining us on the Hess Auto Agency hotline. Again, big week coming up. Brown County at Camp Point Central, round 2 of the playoffs. Going to be fun. And let's keep the conversation going, because when we come back from break, Brown County coach Tom Little is going to join us. So stick around. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
Well, no matter what you're looking to buy this fall, we can help you save, including on flannel. We got thread grip men's and women's plaid for under $30, or we got $15 off thread grip jeans. Or take $8 off our wide selection of Wideology big bags of dog food. And it's getting cold out. No matter what size of heater you need, well, we got it, including this one that's under $35. See all these deals and more right now at farmandhomesupply.com.
We believe that accessing care close to home is better for you and better for your family. For 120 years, Hannibal Regional has been committed to providing community-based, contemporary health care. From state-of-the-art surgical care to innovative cancer care, and now life-saving open-heart surgery. We are dedicated to expanding access to exceptional care in each of the communities we serve. Hannibal Regional, why go anywhere else?
So what separates us most from all the other dealerships? It's the Toyota brand itself.
Once they buy a Toyota, they never buy anything else. #1 vehicle on the market, the best sedan on the market, some of the best reliable trucks on the market. And our main goal here is to try and get our customers the best payment possible.
We know the process and we pass that along to you.
We're simply looking to buy vehicles off the street.
And we want all makes and models of vehicles.
And you don't even have to buy anything in return. We'll just simply purchase it from you.
We can purchase a vehicle in 10 or 15 minutes or less.
Meet us at the Scoreboard, 8th in York and Quincy.
The home of Quincy's best cheeseburger is now under new ownership. All our time-tested menu items, along with some great new additions, all cooked on our perfectly seasoned grill, are waiting for you.
New wings and new sauces.
Ice cold buckets at some of the best prices in town.
Or even in a frosted mug.
Corner bar comfort for your favorite game on 7 big screens. Or play your own game and win big.
The Scoreboard, 8th in York and Quincy.
Area Distributors is a provider of products and services in the restaurant environment, the school environment, the factory environment, the office environment, and in healthcare settings.
That's the value of Area Distributors, is that we help our customers out by providing them more product as one distributor.
I can tell you, if you call us and have a need, you're going to get timely response.
It's all about passion.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports editor Matt Shuckman, coming to you from the CDS Office Technology Studio in downtown Quincy. And we already talked to Camp Point Central Offense Coordinator Casey Ray. Now we're going to get the other side of this big second round Class 1A playoff matchup. And we're going to go to the Hess Auto Agency hotline and talk to Brown County coach Tom Little. Coach, how are you tonight?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I know it's a busy week, a fun week, a intense week. Got any adjectives you want to add to that?
No, it's just a great week. It's a great week that we get to still coach kids. And I think Bill Lapp back in the day used to always tell us every round how many teams were still playing the game of football. And, a lot of guys didn't make the playoffs. A lot of teams lost last week and they're done. So, we're just keep getting down to that fine number of teams that are still playing. So, we're happy to be in that mix.
And interestingly enough, you get a rematch with Camp Point Central at the same place you played them in week 6. But a lot has changed for both teams, hasn't it?
Oh, it has. Both teams, have gotten better. The kids learn the game of football. They understand what we're doing better, and they're doing things better. And both teams are banged up. Both teams have guys that have been playing, for
for 10 weeks of football, and there's bumps and bruises and things like that. So this is always going to be a big test for every team, in the playoffs. You're dealing with a lot of different things, and we're excited to be able to have the opportunity to play again.
Well, and Chris Stewart and I talked about this after your Week 9 game at Calhoun, that it was a very physical game, and you had some guys with some bumps and some bruises after that. Didn't look like it last Saturday against Athens. It looks like you guys got kind of healthy as the week went on, and were able to kind of get your feet under you. Is that kind of how it was?
Yeah, Calhoun's a good football team. They're the number 1 ranked team in the state, or bracket for a reason. They're good, and they were able to jump out on us early, and we kind of came back and made it a game. But they're good teams, and we lost to Camp Point, who's a good team. So we've told our kids, we've played quality opponents, and we've come up short twice, and we got to continue to get better and try to become that team that can beat one of those teams in the playoffs.
Well, and you're going to have opportunities for rematches if you win this game, because there's a number of WIVC schools still in that south half of the bracket in Class 1A. Speaks volumes to the strength of the conference, doesn't it?
Oh, you're exactly right. We hate it when teams have to play a WIVC team, from our conference, and Brad got them last week in Winchester, and, Winchester has done really some nice things, and, they're the only team that didn't win. And, Greenfield moved on, Calhoun moved on, Carrollton moved on, and of course, ourselves, Camp Point and Calhoun. So, to see everybody get to that next level, does show how strong the conference is.
We're talking with Brown County coach Tom Little on the Hess Auto Agency hotline. Again, big game coming up this week, Saturday at Camp Point, Brown County against Camp Point Central. How do you prepare for this week? You and I talked kind of off the air about how kind of Tuesday's a little lighter day, Wednesday and Thursday you amp it up. Is that kind of the playoff mode every week now?
It is. And, and we'll use last week's example. It was a team we hadn't seen. So, that we're still scrambling as coaches on Monday to, fine tune some stuff and what's the plan, and, what are we going to present to the kids? And then even, Tuesday, sometimes in practice, hey, we saw this, we're going to change this slightly and do that. And then we kind of get going on Wednesday. To the normal routine. So our kids are used to that. They know how that stuff's going to go. And so that's always been a blessing that, we do have a solid routine that we've been doing for years that kind of, we feel like gets kids ready for those big games.
Well, and that experience of having been through the playoffs, having prepared for a week 2 match or a round 2 matchup has got to help, because you got so many experienced guys on your staff who have been through this. It's a huge bonus, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Just to be able to pick guys' brains, having Coach Klein, who's, got so many championships, in his own right, to be able to be just a guy to be like, hey, maybe you want to look at that differently and think about this differently. And, the rest of our guys on our staff have all been in big games and done some really nice stuff. So our kids feel confident in the guys that are getting there, it's getting those kids to believe what we see. And, I think that's sometimes the hardest part about coaching is getting the kids to believe, in what you're saying. They have a lot of other things in their head, and if you've never been there, it does make a difference. And it's something that's the struggle in coaching, and hopefully we can get these kids to believe how good that we think they could be. Because
this is a rematch of the week 6 game, do you start from scratch when you're with your game planning, or do you go back and look at everything that you prepared for in week 6 and use that as a starting point?
That's always a tough one, because we both kind of just do the same thing, and who does it better, and so we know what they're going to do, we know the things they've got, and they know what we're going to do and the things that we've got. So it is just it's kind of more or less taking a look at yourself and saying, what can we do to make ourselves better? What can we teach better? What can we do better? And it comes down to the kids. The kids have to have the belief in themselves that they can do it, and that's going to be the main thing we do this week is challenge them to believe in what they're being taught and believe that they can accomplish it.
What's the best thing you saw in the 48-0 victory over Athens last week from your guys?
Just excitement. I think sometimes these guys, they go through the motions and they're afraid to show the emotion of the game of football. And, I think Wyatt Casting's interception, he's a fun kid to be around, because he is so emotional. And if you're watching him in a basketball game, if he's on the bench in a baseball game, and the times I think that really points out Wyatt, who he is how he jumps off the bench in a basketball game when his teammates are doing something good. He's completely into it, and I think he was the perfect guy to make that interception, because when he got it, he got up and got excited. The crowd got excited, and the sideline got excited. It was a really cool moment, and I think everybody just used that momentum of that excitement to really spearhead what we did.
You mentioned the crowd getting excited. That's something you got to be prepared for this week, because you're going to have both sides of that field filled with excitement, because it's going to be a large crowd. How do you prepare for that?
I think week 6 got us to that point. When we played them last time, they had a great crowd, and we brought a lot of people too, and just the noise that those crowds make, especially when they took the lead on us. It was a thing the kids had to learn how to deal with, and it was a great emotional crowd, and I felt like they did okay, but they probably got caught up in a little bit. They don't put on those earmuffs like for the love of the game, where he would clear the mechanism.
Clear the mechanism. There you go. Yeah.
They didn't do that, and I feel like that's something we have to coach is just stay in it. Don't listen to any other distractions or anything else going on. Just clear the mechanism and focus on what you got to do.
I did talk to Coach Dixon today, because I was setting up plans so I can put the truck in the end zone, just like I have for every kind of matchup you guys have there, just like I've had the truck behind your end zone in the past. But we talked about how early I need to get there so I can get the truck in there before they open the gates for the crowd. And that's going to be really early, because people are going to get there early for this. How early do you have to get there then to make sure you're prepared, you and your team?
I don't think early. Just this is a compliment to Coach Unruh, and I think Brad's very similar in what he does. We like to roll in and get them going and get out there just a little bit before kickoff and go. So I think the longer they get there, the longer they sit and think about things, or they talk themselves into it. So we feel like as long, because we got a nice advantage that we just get our bus and we just get off and we go.
Yeah.
We're not worried about parking or tailgating or any of that stuff. So, we want the kids to feel the environment, to be able to realize, hey, this is a pretty cool thing, but to embrace that, to be like, hey, these people are here to watch us perform, watch us play, a kid's game, and go out and play. But in the whole realm of it, it's no different than just playing in the backyard. It's just we can't get distracted by all the things that go on with it.
And you don't have to travel very far on the bus either.
Yeah, that's a huge thing too, and we've done a great job when we've gone on the road to far away places, that we keep those kids focused, and we've done really good playing games on the road in the playoffs. And a couple of years ago we almost upset Tuscola, on the road, and we've been to Toledo a couple times and upset them, and went to Greenfield and upset them. So our kids know that it's possible, and just our coaches just have to make sure that the kids are focused that way, and like, hey, we've done this before, and this can happen. You're playing a great team, but it comes down to you guys playing. It's two teams that are very talented, two teams that know each other really well, and it's you can't make mistakes. You got to take advantage of every opportunity, and you've got to play 4 quarters of football.
It's going to be fun Saturday. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it, and I know you and your guys are too. So really appreciate you taking a few minutes tonight to step away from all the preparation to chat with us.
No problem. I was going to say we love talking about these kids, and like I said, we got a great group, and we're happy to be coaching them again this week.
Well, I'll see you at practice this week, and then I'll see you on Saturday as well. So really looking forward to it, and thanks again for joining us.
Yep, no problem, Matt. Thanks for having me.
That was Brown County coach Tom Little joining us on the Hess Auto Agency hotline to talk about the second round Class 1A matchup with Camp Point Central coming up 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. We'll have complete coverage at muddyriversports.com of that, and we'll have previews of it as well as the week goes on. So we got another big rivalry game going on the opposite side of the river that we're going to have complete coverage of as well. And we're going to talk more about that when we come back, because Monroe City coach David Kirby's going to join us to talk about the Mayor's Cup Part 2 when we return. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
When you trust your healthcare needs to MDH, you'll receive the highest quality, compassionate care from our nationally accredited medical departments and award-winning staff. We are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, providing exceptional care right here in Macomb. We also accept Aetna, Healthful Inc., Blue Cross Blue Shield, and most other insurance plans for your convenience. McDonough District Hospital, your regional healthcare partner, growing our legacy one patient at a time.
Does the thought of retirement overwhelm you? You are not alone. For over 25 years, Benson Financial Group has helped people just like you craft a plan to retire with purpose. Call us today in Quincy and Hannibal.
For 135 years, State Street Bank has stood as a pillar of trust and stability in Quincy, Illinois. For generations, families have trusted State Street Bank to be part of their biggest moments. We look forward to the future with gratitude and excitement. Thank you for being part of our journey. State Street Bank, 135 years of banking you can trust.
Neiman's, your neighborhood market.
Kitchen and Bath Gallery of Quincy. Trained craftsmen and expert contractors with friendly professional service. Our design team helps with every step of the process, guiding you from a vision to reality with uncompromised service. Trust your home to the local experts. Get a free quote today. From concept to creation, Kitchen and Bath create remarkable spaces and innovative builds. Kitchen and Bath Gallery, your home reimagined.
Not sure you're ready for retirement? With over 25 years of experience, the team at Benson Financial Group will meet you right where you are and craft a plan that's right for you. Call us today in Quincy and Hannibal.
Welcome back to Monday Night Lights, live from the CDS Office Technology Studios in downtown Quincy.
Welcome back to Monday Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Schuckman, hanging out here in downtown Quincy as we get set for a big weekend of high school football. Missouri District semifinals on Friday night, Illinois second-round playoff games on Saturday, and one of the games everybody's going to have their eye on Friday night takes place at Langford Field in Monroe City for Mayor's Cup Part 2. And to talk about that game, we're going to be joined on the Hess Auto Agency hotline by Monroe City head coach David Kirby. Coach, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Wonderful. Okay, I know when Dewar's been here in the past, we've had you on, we've talked some music stuff. If you had to pick a song that would be the theme for the week, do you know what it would be?
Ooh. Oh, man, you put me on the spot. That's a good one right there. Oh, shoot. No, Final Countdown, maybe.
Okay, that's a good. I like that one. That's a good one. I was thinking it's got to be something it kind of gets you ready for the big moment.
Oh, well, I'm probably the wrong one because I have a very eclectic taste in music. So that would be. There's some good ones right there. Well, I'll just go with that one though.
Okay, well. Because, I mean, it is the countdown to a big game, and Friday night will be a big game at Langford Field. How excited are you guys for a rematch with Palmyra?
Oh, very excited. You know, our kids have been very focused, obviously going through the regular season and earning the bye week. So, you know, we've had that extra week of practice to kind of help our bodies heal, but also, you know, looking at who the potential opponents could be with Clark or Palmyra. And, our focus was just trying to, you know, make sure that we were healing up, staying healthy, being sharp in our practices. And then once we found out we were playing Palmyra, you know, kind of fine tune our game plan and do everything we can to, you know, go out and put ourselves in a position to compete for a victory.
You go through the regular season and everything's the same routine, 9 straight weeks, 9 straight games, you know, same routine, same practice on Monday, same style of practice on Tuesday. Then you get to a bye week. How do you approach that? How did you approach last week to make sure your guys stayed fresh and stayed locked in?
We gave them Monday off, you know, to kind of let them have that extra day just to rest. And then one of the big things for us is we just we're just looking at the basics of stuff and trying to be really good at just, the little things. And I think one of the things that I learned a long time ago from Coach Unruh was never get too far away from your basics. And I think that was something that we focused on last week, was being very sharp with our first steps on our offense, very sharp with our first step on our defense, understanding exactly who we are and practicing those things at a high speed. And our kids really had a great week of practice last week. We broke some things down. We went back to kind of the start of stuff. If people would have walked in, they'd be like, wow, this kind of looks like a first day of practice. And really for us, it was a good refresher on what we needed to do. And I thought the kids have, put in a great week of practice, and we're really excited to get into this week of practice as well.
Well, and again, it's a good week for rest, but staying sharp's the most important part of this, because you guys have been sharp. What have you been most pleased with through the first 9 weeks of the regular season?
The resiliency of the kids. Obviously, things happen throughout the year. Obviously, week one we play, I guess the number one ranked team in Class 3 in Valley Catholic, and took a little shot on the chin. But with that being said, our kids fought hard through that game, and they just fought all year long. In every competition, there were a few games that we were down in, and the kids fought back and found ways to win. And I've been very proud of how the kids have really come together as a team, and how they compete for each other and put themselves in opportunities to go make plays, and they never get down on each other. That's something that I'm really impressed with this team, is that they lift each other up. They play really fast. They play physical, but they just play together. And I think that's something that is a great testament to just the way the kids are. And I'm really, really happy with this group of kids. They've done a heck of a job.
We're talking with Monroe City football coach David Kirby, heading into Friday night's district semifinal game against Palmyra. Obviously played Palmyra in the regular season, Coach. Do you start the game planning from scratch and just say, okay, new season, new week, 2 new teams? Or do you go back at the old game plan and go, okay, let's look at what we did and see how we can tweak it?
I think the big thing is they're a completely different team than the team that we played earlier in the season. We're a completely different team than we were at that point. So for us, this is, somebody new. You throw records out, you throw any previous experience with them out. And the big part is, can you be focused on who you got right in front of you right now? Not in the past, not in the future, just the present. And I think that's something that we've really focused on with this group of kids, is being on point, not worrying about what we did in the past or anything else, just focusing on the right now and looking at this opponent as someone new, someone who has had a very fantastic year, who's done some great things. They've got great pieces of the puzzle, and we try to give them the amount of respect that they deserve, because they are a very solid football club, and we know that they've got some really dynamic pieces. So we have to be on point and not worry about anything that's happened previously.
Well, when they go out and score 29 or 69 points like they did last week, they're pretty explosive.
They are dynamic. They are, in 2 games against, that opponent, they put up over 150 points. So we know that they can score quick. They can score a lot of points. So that's something that it does make your eyes kind of pop, like, oh my goodness. So we know that defensively we're going to have to, know our assignment, get lined up, and, alignment assignment technique, and try to get off the ball fast and go play aggressive defense and try to limit some of the explosive plays. They've got some talented athletes over on that team. And, we know that in games they make big plays. So we're going to try to you can't really stop some of the big plays, but you try to limit those big plays, and you try to, really, just instead of getting a 12, 15 or 19-yard game, maybe keep them to 3 yards, and you just keep trying to just whittle away at things. And I think our kids are up for the challenge. I really do.
Friday night, 7 p.m. kickoff is going to be at Langford Field. What's it like to play at Langford Field in the postseason?
Oh, it's awesome. I tell you what, that's one of the fun parts. with this program. It's this time of year, that weather, it starts getting colder, it's dark, it's under the lights. You put those all black uniforms on there and you walk out, you get a little Metallica going, Enter Sandman, the kids are pumped up, you got that tunnel you run through. You got people coming back, my former players from before my time, and they're all just proud in that moment. It's electric, and that I kind of get goosebumps just thinking about, golly, you got me on this one right now. It is, and you just walk out, and it's such that there's this pop when you hit that sidewalk right up to the field. Is, man, there's just nothing better. It's everything right with small school football, with high school football, small town football. Like you got two great crowds coming out for a playoff atmosphere, and it's a special moment. And I think that's something that, as a coach, I've looked back on some of the teams that I've had and some of the special moments that I've been a part of in the past on that field. And it's just one of those deals where you just put a smile on your face. And that's the thing for these kids. I think it's a great environment to play a football game in. And I'm super excited that our group has the opportunity to get to host this game. And it's going to be electric. It is going to be a great environment for a high school football game.
Well, you sort of answered my next question. The one I at least had in my head was going to be, do you get goosebumps when you're going out onto the field for that game in the playoffs and that stuff? And I think you do, don't you?
Every time. If people tell you they don't get goosebumps or they don't have that excitement or that nerves, they're lying to you. That's, as coaches, that's why we get into it. We want that feeling again. And I tell kids all the time, like, those feelings they get running through that tunnel, running on that field on a Friday night, it's an electric feeling. And once you're done playing, you don't get those feelings all the time. Now, those feelings will come back and in some other ways. The day you get married, the day you have a child and you see that child for the first time, you're going to have those, there's going to be that electric feeling, but those times get fewer and far between. And so I try to tell our kids, enjoy these moments. They don't come around a lot. Have fun with it. Take a moment to let it all come in and enjoy it while you're in that moment too.
You want them to enjoy the moment. Do you tell them to relax on Friday during the day, try to focus on school, not focus on the game? Or do you just kind of know, hey, they're going to be thinking about the game all day no matter what I say?
They will. I look at it the same way that I look at homecomings. Like, so many coaches like, oh, homecoming's a distraction. No, it's not. It's only a distraction if the coach makes it a distraction. Yeah. I love homecoming. One, I love throwing candy out to kids and putting some of the candy in my pockets. Let's be honest.
Of course.
And so, like, the kids already, we know what's coming at 7 o'clock. There's going to be a big game, and we know it's going to be a battle. So I'm not going to shy away from it. I think that's the thing that I've tried to take that approach over the years is like, why should we try to, put a cover in front of their eyes? Or no, they know what's coming. Kids are smart and they know it's going to be there. I tell them, enjoy their day, turn in your homework. That's big. Make sure you're doing everything you can in class.
Right.
But understand, like, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And that's something I'm really proud of with my group of kids is that they know when it's time to go, they go out and they hammer down, and they're kids on the other hand. And, or at the other times they can be kids, but in those moments during the game, that's when they rise up and they show their maturity. And that's, something special about this group. I really appreciate that about them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, my trusty sidekick, Chris Dewar, isn't here tonight, but I can tell you this, he will be at Langford Field on Friday night.
I had an inkling that there was probably going to be some people at that game.
Yeah, just maybe one or two show up. Just never know. Well, Coach, good luck on Friday night. Really appreciate you taking time tonight to break it down with us. And I'll be in touch this week. I'd like to get over to practice sometime this week, so hopefully we can catch up then.
That'll be awesome, man. We look forward to it.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Have a great night.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
That was Monroe City coach David Kirby joining us on the Hess Auto Agency hotline to break down Mayor's Cup Part 2 in the Class 2 District semifinals coming up Friday night at 7 o'clock at Langford Field. Again, we're going to have some coverage of that throughout the week. Monroe City against Palmyra, big rivalry game. And this is fun. It's November football. We've got rivalry games on both sides of the field. We got teams battling to stay alive. just an exciting time to be part of the high school football scene, and we're going to keep it up. So stick around. We're going to talk to another playoff coach when we come back. Macomb's Tanner Horrell will be joining us on the Hess Auto Agency hotline. So stick around. We'll be right back. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
Since 1929, we've been here to serve our communities with the best products and the best service. You are the reason we go to work every day, and we thank you for that. After all, we live where you do.
Area Distributors is a provider of products and services in the restaurant environment, the school environment, the factory environment, the office environment, and in healthcare settings.
That's the value of Area Distributors, is that we help our customers out by providing them more product as one distributor.
I can tell you, if you call us and have a need, you're going to get timely response.
It's all about passion.
Well, no matter what you're looking to buy this fall, we can help you save, including on flannel. We got thread grip men's and women's plaid for under $30, or we got $15 off thread grip jeans. Or take $8 off our wide selection of Wideology big bags of dog food. And it's getting cold out. No matter what size of heater you need, well, we got it, including this one that's under $35. See all these deals and more right now at farmandhomesupply.com.
Since 1985, Hess Auto Agency has been your trusted source for pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area. Families have experienced the Hess difference for generations and know they'll get the best vehicle buying experience in our region. With an ever-changing inventory, you'll find the right car at the right price. So when you want the best, don't guess. Choose Hess. Hess Auto Agency, 1124 North 24th in Quincy.
My philosophy in pediatrics is definitely prevention, early intervention, and advocacy. Being an advocate for my patients is one of the main reasons why I got into pediatrics in the first place. I like working close with families and being able to empower moms, especially first-time moms, or empower any caregiver. MDH Peds gives that family-centered care. My name is Leilani Segura, and I am a pediatrician at McDonough Districts Hospital.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Schuckman. We are heading in to hour number 2 right here in the CDS Office Technology Studio. Hour number 1 was a blast, and we got more playoff football to talk about. We also got some high school girls basketball to break down. Brad Dance will be joining us right here in the studio to talk about kick-starting practice for the Quincy High School girls program. We also got the adjustment of the week coming up. We also have Shuck 'em Up later this hour. So a lot to look forward to. And Shuck 'em Up may be of interest to the guy that we're going to be talking to right now on the Hess Auto Agency hotline, because his players made some big plays last Saturday, especially defensively. Wouldn't you agree, Macomb coach Tanner Horrell?
Yeah, I heard you tease that a little bit earlier in the show. I was wondering, we had some nice hits on the quarterbacks and receivers last week.
Yeah, so it was hard. It was actually hard.
Maybe it might be one of our guys.
It was hard for me to pick one, because Dewar got some great highlights last week of your guys playing defense, and it was like, okay, which one do I go with?
Yeah, our guys did a great job of giving you guys lots of options.
Yes. Well, and your defense played lights out on Saturday in the 21-6 victory over Hillcrest. What were you most impressed with from the defensive side of the ball?
I thought containing their running backs and their speedsters. They had a lot of team speed. They weren't the biggest kids in the world, but they just flew around. And we did a really good job of containing them. They didn't get us off the edge at all. We contained their quarterback and sacked him a few times. I think they hit us on one run play early in the game. They got us on like a 50-yarder, and we chased it down and made them snap the football again. But other than that, we just did a really good job of stopping the run, and that's kind of been something we've preached all year because we feel like if teams have to throw the ball against us, we're going to do pretty well in the secondary.
Well, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but they got the ball inside the red zone at least once where you guys, bowed your neck and refused to give up any yards. That's a huge sign of how good your defense can be.
Yeah, that's something we've done multiple times this year is we bend but we don't break, and we always preach snap the football again, make them snap the football again. And they got inside the red zone 3 times. The first time they scored on a 4th down, we got them on 4th and 3, and they caught a slant route. And then the next 2 times they got in there, we stuffed them. We just do a really good job of not giving up and not hanging our heads and having that next play mentality.
The Coach Wilson, Dave Wilson, your defensive coordinator, had to be on cloud 9 when his defense plays that well, doesn't he?
Yeah. Dave's an amazing defensive coordinator, amazing football coach in general. He's got tons of experience. He's coached at the college level, been a head coach, and now I get to take advantage of having him as my DC and just let him go to town. And he brings the energy. He brings the energy in practice, brings it on the sideline. The kids love him. He's just an amazing coach, and we're really lucky to have him.
It's real easy to talk about Drake May in the middle there at linebacker. It's real easy to talk about your defensive backs and the plays they make. Your defensive line often kind of gets overlooked in those conversations, but your defensive line has been pretty darn good, hasn't it?
Yeah, that would be a pleasant surprise, I would say.
Yeah.
Our D-line, we rotate 4 or 5 different guys up front. Blaze Howell's a kid that wasn't a starter coming into week 1 against Rushville, and he just makes plays. Like, you think he's kind of not a string bean, but he's a smaller D lineman, tall and lengthy, and he just knows how to shoot gaps. He leads the team in tackles for loss and sacks. And then Sam Potter and Charlie Bodiford are inside, 2 big kids, strong kids that we can put at nose, and Will Thomas and Cameron Singleton all kind of rotate and they do their jobs really well, and it helps free up Drake and Joshua and Drake to go run free and make those tackles.
And and again, the process you guys have gone through, I don't think at the beginning of the season your defense was, maybe everybody thought it was going to be as salty as it has been. But this group has really worked hard together, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably internally we felt like our defense was going to be our strength. Now, outsiders didn't know a lot of the pieces because we lost our entire D-line and we lost 2 of our linebackers, but we knew the guys that we're replacing them with had a lot of potential. But just thinking back, to our summer practices against other schools and that week 0 scrimmage, how far our kids have come it's been outstanding. And it's just their hard work and their dedication and their want to be good, want to be great. We just have a great group of kids that rally together and they know what their goal is and they keep working for it.
We're talking with Macomb coach Tanner Horrell on the Hess Auto Agency hotline. The Bombers will be at home on Saturday afternoon, taking on Geneseo in the second round of the Class 4A playoffs. Coach, how much of an advantage is it to be playing the second round of the playoffs at the tarmac?
Oh, it's huge. Playing a home playoff game is outstanding, and our students do a really good job of coming out. And I was just talking to Coach Keene today about how we can try to get more kids to come. It's supposed to be pretty nice weather on Saturday, and trying to set up a tailgate so all the kids can come tailgate and go to the game. We got 18,000 things going on in Macomb on Saturday, but I think we're going to have a ton of people in the bleachers watching us play Geneseo, and I know Geneseo is going to bring a great crowd. So it should be an awesome atmosphere.
Well, you guys got a great following. We know Geneseo's got tradition and a great following. When you look at that and you know a team like that's coming to Macomb, how giddy do you get as the week goes on, or do you get just more nervous?
I don't think, our kids have no idea about the history, I don't think, of Geneseo. But yeah, I know what their past is, the whole Green Machine, and they have tons. I've watched them play in state championships on TV and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's a high school football game, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is. We want to play our very best. So I'm going to get nervous no matter who we're playing. Doesn't matter if it's week 1 or week 10 or week 11. But I'll be nervous by the end of the week. But I have full confidence in our guys. Just trust the work that we put in and lean on each other and hopefully play our best game on Saturday.
As you start breaking down film and getting ready for this game, when you look at Geneseo, what jumps out at you?
Number 4 jumps out real big. He's a stud on both sides of the ball, kind of our version of Drake May.
Yep.
Leads the team in tackles, leads the team in rushing yards. They do a really good job of finding ways to get him the football through their option or tosses and lining him up a receiver, kind of trying to hide him as a little wing. So we're gonna have to know where number 4 is at all times, and then we haven't really seen an option team. That's not something that we see a ton of. We saw Jacksonville ran in our week 0 scrimmage, so we kind of lean on that a little bit. But we're gonna have to really focus in this week. Defensively, they do some different things as well that we don't see a lot of. They lined up. We have the Quincy film. They lined up in a couple different fronts that kind of popped off. So we're gonna have to be ready for that. Not freak out. Just stick to our rules and trust one another.
And you have an idea, just knowing, from regionally, the fact that they're in the Western Big Six, the fact they played against Quincy, they're a physical team. Does just having some of that base knowledge of who they played against and what they did against those opponents help you guys prepare?
Yeah, I mean, finished 6-1 in the Western Big Six.
Yeah.
So a ton of respect for them. They're playing in a conference where they're one of the smallest schools, and they hold their own. They got, like you said earlier, they have a long history of success. So a ton of respect for them, and their head coaches had a ton of success elsewhere before coming to Geneseo. So they're going to be really well coached. They're physical. They're fast. They're disciplined. So it's going to be a really good football game. We're going to have to play our A game to win.
But don't forget, the Macomb Bombers are really well coached too, up and down the line, because you got a great staff.
Yes, we have an outstanding staff. Really lucky. We've talked about Coach Wilson, but Luke Ladd's been here forever doing it. Paul Zerillo, Hunter Maxwell, Justin Payne, J.D. Wilson, Coach Wilson's son, has came over since leaving Western, and then we added a new one, Tim Dolan, who played O-line at Western and some schools before that, and I think he's been the unsung hero for us. We let the O-line go with him for 35 minutes and straight Indy time, and the amount of work they've put in and how much better they've gotten from week 1 is outstanding. So we're really lucky to have a great staff.
Well, you're lucky in that regard, and you're lucky because you guys get a home playoff game on Saturday, and it's just going to be a lot of fun at the tarmac, isn't it?
Yeah. No, walking out this last Saturday, you always got to take it in, right?
Yeah.
The playoffs aren't guaranteed, and so we come out, and I always feel like come out and just take it in, like take the fans in, the group of kids that you got with you, coaching staff. It's special to play a playoff game, especially at home, and we're really lucky that we get to do it again this Saturday, and hopefully we just keep it rolling.
Well, best of luck. We will be there covering you guys, and we look forward to Saturday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the amazing coverage and having us on. I know our kids love hearing about themselves and checking out all your stuff and the local teams as well.
Well, make sure you check us out in about half an hour or so, because one of your guys might be mentioned again.
For sure. I'll be watching.
Awesome. Thanks, Tanner. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Macomb coach Tanner Horrell joining us on the Hess Auto Agency hotline. Again, the Bombers at home Saturday afternoon, taking on Geneseo in the second round of the Class 4A playoffs. Man, this is fun. Playoff football is just a blast. And we've got district games on Friday night in Missouri, second round playoff games in Illinois on Saturday. And there's basketball to talk about too. Does it get any better? Well, we're going to find out, because one of the guys joining us next in the studio has had a pretty good last few days, and I'm sure he wants to talk about something more than just basketball. So we'll see what happens next. Stick around. This is Monday Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
So what separates us most from all the other dealerships It's the Toyota brand itself.
Once they buy a Toyota, they never buy anything else. #1 vehicle on the market, the best sedan on the market, some of the best reliable trucks on the market. And our main goal here is to try and get our customers the best payment possible.
We know the process and we pass that along to you.
We're simply looking to buy vehicles off the street.
And we want all makes and models of vehicles.
And you don't even have to buy anything in return. We'll just simply purchase it from you.
We can purchase a vehicle in 10 or 15 minutes or less.
We believe that accessing care close to home is better for you and better for your family. For 120 years, Hannibal Regional has been committed to providing community-based, contemporary health care. From state-of-the-art surgical care to innovative cancer care, and now life-saving open-heart surgery. We are dedicated to expanding access to exceptional care in each of the communities we serve. Hannibal Regional, why go anywhere else?
Meet us at the scoreboard, 8th in York and Quincy.
The home of Quincy's best cheeseburger is now under new ownership. All our time-tested menu items, along with some great new additions, all cooked on our perfectly seasoned grill, are waiting for you.
New wings and new sauces.
Ice cold buckets, some of the best prices in town.
Or even in a frosted mug.
Corner bar comfort for your favorite game on 7 big screens. Or play your own game and win big.
The scoreboard, 8th in York and Quincy.
For 135 years, State Street Bank has stood as a pillar of trust and stability in Quincy, Illinois. For generations, families have trusted State Street Bank to be part of their biggest moments. We look forward to the future with gratitude and excitement. Thank you for being part of our journey. State Street Bank, 135 years of banking you can trust.
Since 1929, we've been here to serve our communities with the best products and the best service. You are the reason we go to work every day, and we thank you for that. After all, we live where you do.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, live from the CDS Office Technology Studios in downtown Quincy.
Well, it's football playoff time, but it's also the start of basketball season. The overlap has hit us. And so we're going to talk some girls prep basketball tonight, because today was the first official day of practices right here in Illinois for our high school teams. And hanging out with us in the CDS Office Technology studio tonight, Quincy High School girls basketball coach, Brad Dance. What's up, buddy?
A lot. Thanks for having me here, Matt.
Glad you're here. It's been probably a fun few days for you. Now, here's my question off the bat. Did you stay up and watch every inning of these extra inning World Series games?
I did.
You did? You made it through the 18-inning game?
And Tracy was up with me the whole time.
Wow.
She gets probably more nervous than I do. I mean, yes, that was a tough next morning to get up. But
I bet.
It was a lot better after they'd won the night before. So.
I didn't make it through. I fell asleep.
It's funny that because I was actually texting a couple of other people. I sent a message to Coach Hawkins. I was talking to DOB a little bit. And they were up too watching. So
I got there was about, I probably made it through the 11th before my eyes just got too heavy, and I just had to call it quits. I was disappointed in myself for not staying up and watching it all.
It was a long game.
It was. But you got to watch your Dodgers win back-to-back World Series championships.
Yes, it was fun to see. And going into Game 6, I didn't expect it. I knew they had a chance, and they're pretty darn good.
Okay, so this came up earlier tonight, and all the years we've known each other, I've never asked you this. How did you become a Dodgers fan?
Fernando Valenzuela.
Okay.
Because I was lefty, he was lefty. Yeah. I didn't throw very hard. He had a great screwball. I didn't have a great screwball. So let's just leave it at that. We were both left-handed, though.
Yeah, there you go. So. He pitched in the majors. And you pitched. You did.
I watched a lot of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, coming off a World Series championship for the Dodgers, you get to go right into coaching your team, hopefully to something special this winter. Because I know expectations are going to be high because you return a lot of players with talent, and a lot of players with eyes on them. How hard is it to handle those expectations, or how do you tell the girls to handle those expectations?
Well, they do a really good job of it because they just kind of stay even keel and they don't let things really get to them one way or the other. It's a very focused group. It's a very humble group.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a very conceited group, but they're not that way at all. They're very down to earth and they're very just focused on, you know, what we're doing next and, you know, where's the post-game meal at and things like that. I mean, the things like that, the important things for them.
Yeah,
but no,
right.
They are, and they do stay very basketball-oriented.
Well, the fun part is you got some personality on that team, but you also have some girls that are fairly quiet and just go about their business. They don't make a big deal about the media attention. They don't make a big deal about college coaches being in the gym, checking them out. That's got to become easier, make it easier for you to coach them because they just know, do the business, it'll take care of itself.
Yes, and they do. I mean, they just go about their business, and you know, they talk about, you know, when I after a game, I'm like, hey, Shane or Matt or Chris, somebody wants to talk to you. Oh, okay, because it's almost like they're nervous about it.
I know.
We're getting over that, so they have actually developed a lot more and become a lot more open the longer they've done it. So it is good to see. And I did notice a lot of, you know, talking about maturity, I did notice a lot of maturity with our girls over the summer and even in the fall, just kind of the way that, you know, they kind of blended together, joined together with some of the younger kids and worked with the ones. And so it is good to see them kind of mature a little bit.
Well, I know you give me grief when I don't show up to a home game. Your girls are starting to do that a little bit too because they've gotten used to me over the years,
Yeah.
and that's fun because they're again maturing.
Yeah.
They're not the timid little freshmen anymore. Not that they ever really played like that.
No, they just talk like that after the game.
But that's the way they played as freshmen has only increased. And you look at a Miley Longcore, a Jada Brown. As good as they were as freshmen, think how good they are now as juniors and what they could be.
Yeah.
That's got to be exciting for you.
It is because, you know, they continue to develop, they continue to work. You throw Cam Byquist in the mix there, and Mia Alfritz is another junior that gets a ton of time. They've all just developed at their own pace, but by playing together and with each other and, you know, against each other when they work out in the fall and things like that, it's only made them better.
What's it like to have a senior who's as energetic and talkative and fun as Madeline Hamby?
It's good because it really helps keep the group loose, and it keeps it in perspective. You know, it is a high school basketball game, and you know some of the things that you know are asked. You know, like when we talk about the post game meals. What are we doing this? So it's the thing. You know, everybody sees. Oh, this game's important. This game, it's important while it's going on, and then you know that night, the next day, it's put back into perspective. And you know, kids like that. And not to say that she worked extremely hard, but she just goes about it in a different way. And,
right.
You know, so I give her credit for that.
Well, and she's going to have an opportunity to play in college as well. You know, you've got multiple girls who are going to have that opportunity, different levels, but they're still going to have the opportunity to continue their careers. How much do you help guide them through the recruiting process, or do you let the parents do most of that?
Right. I told Chloe that I'm her personal scheduler right now because coaches can't talk to the majority of the girls right now, so they have to go through me.
Yep.
So I'm setting up phone calls and you know things like that probably every other day. So and that's been going on since you know mid-August. So I don't mind it. I like it. I've developed some great relationships with these college coaches. So, but it is it's almost like now when you know when Jada decides where she's going to go, where Chloe decides where she's going to go, things like that. It's like, oh man, now I won't be talking to this coach every day.
Right.
Coach, like, you know, but it's part of it. But I have really enjoyed it, and it's you know, and now these coaches say, well, just wait till this June comes because you'll get even busier. So. We'll see.
Well, the recruiting process should be fun. I know it can be overwhelming at times, whether it's for a high school coach or the player themselves, but it should be fun. It's you know they're wanted.
Yeah, that's what I tell them. I said you have to go to where you feel you're most going to feel you know at home there. You know, and I always tell them, you know, God forbid you get hurt, but are you going to be okay going to this school around these people? And you know, if you're out for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you know, things like that.
Right.
So, you got to keep those things in perspective as too. So.
We're talking with Quincy High School girls basketball coach Brad Dance here in the CDS Office Technology Studio. I know you've added some games to your schedule this year, some different shootouts and things like that, and you've done that the last couple of years. How difficult is it to find games for these girls to put them on, in a spotlight, so to speak?
Lately, it hasn't been real difficult because of having played in the Quincy shootout, that's helped us a lot. Being in that one, the Sophie Cunningham has really opened us up to a lot of different places. Because people see that, the other schools see that, and other teams want to play you now. So I am excited about going to Tipton, Missouri this year.
Right.
It's early in December, and fortunately, a couple teams in our conference moved games around so we could go.
Good.
So I did appreciate that. But we'll go on a Friday and Saturday, and we'll play two teams we've never seen before. So, and I think one's from Tennessee, and we just switched it. It might be another one from Oklahoma. So it's and they're all supposed to be good girls basketball schools. So I'm excited to go to that. I know Coach Carvajal used to be at. Where was it?
North Shelby.
North Shelby, yes. And he spent a ton of time putting this together. So
sounded like it.
Yes, it's going to be a fun event for us.
Well, and again, giving your kids opportunities to see different teams, see different places. Mm-hmm. That's part of that's part of the educational experience of playing high school basketball. Isn't it?
I want to take them to places they've never been. We go to Batavia the last couple of summers,
right,
so we can play in a college exposure shootout. We try to go different places to where kids are somewhat interested in the schools, so they can be seen at those schools. I am real brief. I did when the Thanksgiving weekend we're playing O'Fallon. I set it up with Eric at Notre Dame, and we're going to play O'Fallon on Friday, and he's going to play Lift for Life on Friday. And then we're going to flip-flop on Saturday. We're going to play Lift for Life, and then he's going to play O'Fallon. So we kind of work together doing that. And those are going to be two great teams. And for us, that's O'Fallon being a sectional opponent.
Right.
So that's good that we can do that early in the year.
Well, it's going to give your girls out of the gate an idea of, okay, what's it going to take to win a regional or a sectional?
Exactly, yep. So, you're going to run into a team like that come regional time.
Yeah. Obviously, basketball season's very busy. Just in general as a coach.
Oh, yeah.
But you also have a son playing college basketball for the first time, Alex Dance, playing at John Wood Community College as a freshman. How much fun is it to see your kids? Obviously, you've watched your son Tyler pitch at the college level, and he's off to Lewis. What's it like to watch Alex kind of live out his dream and get a chance to play college basketball?
It's fun. I mean, he's enjoying it. He's learning a lot. He's learning how physical and how different junior college basketball is from what high school basketball is. But he is enjoying it, and I do like to see him around a group of guys like that are really committed to basketball. So it's fun to see, and I do notice that he continues to talk about wanting to go into the coaching route after college. So that I do like that too. So
that's neat.
Yeah.
Well, and your youngest wants to be an athlete too.
Yeah. She just doesn't know what she wants to do.
Always says hi to me every time she sees me at a game.
Yep.
She's my favorite dance.
Mine too, most days.
Caitlin, we love you. Again, lot to look forward to. Today was the first day of official practice. Everything go okay?
Yeah, it did. It was good. I mean, obviously you're not perfected that day, but you don't want to be.
Right.
But I mean, they do. It was a great effort. We got a lot of conditioning in and got some other stuff done, and we'll just continue to build and get ready for a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that it's already here. That's already November, but
yes.
I just kind of glanced down at the schedule today and went, oh, wow. We got 2 weeks before we have high school games.
Yeah, you have a couple more weeks to these helmets, then you have to get some basketballs up here.
That's the plan.
There you go.
Maybe we get a Blue Devil, something with a Blue Devil logo on it?
Yes, I'll work on that, yeah.
Okay, you can work on that.
Yep.
Thank you for taking the time to come in tonight. I know you got a lot going on, so I really appreciate it. Taking the time.
I appreciate it. Glad you having me.
And we'll have you back in sometime.
All right, it's a deal.
And I'll show up to a few games.
If not, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah, I know. That was Quincy High School girls basketball coach Brad Dance joining us here in the CDS Office Technology Studio. Again, a lot more to talk about. We got some football stuff coming up. We've got the adjustment of the week still to talk about, and Shuck 'em Up, hit of the week, play of the week, whatever you want to call it. This week it is a hit of a week, and a big one coming up from a Macomb player. I'm not going to give that away just yet. So make sure you stick around for our last half hour. This is Monday Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
Does the thought of retirement overwhelm you? You are not alone. For over 25 years, Benson Financial Group has helped people just like you craft a plan to retire with purpose. Call us today in Quincy and Hannibal.
Top 5 reasons you should choose
Blessing Raymond College.
Small classes, peer tutoring, and lots of personal attention.
Financial aid opportunities, including grants, scholarship, and loan forgiveness.
Successful outcomes, from pass rates to job placement.
Hands-on learning, clinical experience at multiple sites, and no wait list.
The Simulation Center.
Master clinical skills in the state-of-the-art facility.
Be ready for anything.
What are you waiting for?
Enroll with Blessing Raymond College today.
Neiman's, your neighborhood market.
Ready to retire on your terms? At Benson Financial Group, it's about more than money. It's about purpose. With over 25 years of experience, our team works together to craft a plan that fits your goals and values in Quincy and Hannibal.
Are you as excited as we are that football season is back? Then you need to make Jersey's your one-stop destination for mouth-watering burgers, ice-cold beer, and all your local sporting events. So gather your crew and speed over to one of Jersey's 2 locations, 109 East Jefferson and Camp Point, or 115 East Main Street, Mount Sterling. Jersey's Bar and Grill, your hometown sports bar.
We love beer!
I always laugh at the Jersey's commercial with the "We Love Beer" at the end. And I got a feeling, based on what's going to be taking place this weekend, that Jersey's is going to be hopping both locations, more than likely, the one in Camp Point and the one in Mount Sterling, because there's going to be a lot of people in Camp Point on Saturday for the second round Class 2A or Class 1A. Man, I screwed up both of those that time. Second round Class 1A playoff matchup between Brown County and Camp Point Central. On the flip side of the river, on the Missouri side of the Mississippi, we got district play on Friday night. And again, we also have a big rivalry game taking place in the second round, the district semifinals. In Class 2 District 7, Palmyra will head to Monroe City to Langford Field to take on, and for the second rendition of the Mayor's Cup this season. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's take a look at all of our Missouri district play. Again, a lot of teams had first-round byes last week, and we don't have a lot now these days where we have full 8-team districts and everybody plays all 3 weeks, or at least week 1, and, a full regular 8-team district bracket. So a lot of teams get first-round byes. So a lot of teams had last Friday night to relax a little bit, watch a game, watch film, rest, So this week should be more entertaining, and I think we're on tap for some really good games too, depending on how it all plays out. We're going to start in Class 4, District 5, where the Hannibal Pirates are the number 1 seed. They'll be taking on Mexico at Porter Stadium on Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. The winner of that game will get the winner of Warrenton at Odessa. Odessa's the number 2 seed. Odessa's had a good year. I really, because they're closer to Kansas City, I don't know as much about Odessa. To be honest with you. And I would think Hannibal will be the prohibitive favorite to win that district. But we don't know. They haven't played Odessa. We don't know much about Odessa. So I guess we'll learn something this week when they play Warrenton on Friday night. So again, that's Class 4, District 5. Hannibal's your number 1 seed. They had a bye in round 1, the Pirates did. They will be at home Friday night against Mexico. 7 p.m. kickoff at Porter Stadium. In Class 2, District 7, we've talked about the Palmyra at Monroe City matchup taking place at Langford Field. On the opposite side of that bracket, you've got Macon going to second-seeded Brookfield. And again, one Clarence Cannon Conference team playing a former Clarence Cannon Conference team. So should be an interesting matchup there in Brookfield. Class 2, District 2, Priory goes to Bowling Green. Bowling Green's the number 2 seed in Class 2 District 2. And it's interesting because it's been a struggle for the Bobcats this regular season, but they got a legitimate shot at the district title if they can get past Priory and get into the district title game, where they will play, if they get through, either Herman or top-seeded Montgomery County. That's on the other side of that Class 2 District 2 bracket. In Class 1, Highland goes to Putnam County. The Midgets are the number 1 seed in that district. Highland, big win last week to snap a 25-game losing streak. See if they can make it 2 in a row, knock off the number 1 seeded Midgets. On the other side of that bracket, South Shelby goes to Scotland County. After a couple of fantastic seasons, South Shelby took a step back this year, struggled through the regular season. You never know what might happen, especially when you go on the road. So it'll be interesting to see if the Cardinals can make something, rekindle that postseason magic, so to speak. Also in Class 1, in District 2, Louisiana will go to top-seeded Hillsboro, and Crystal City will be at Van Far. Big win last week for Louisiana to get into the district semifinals. See if the Bulldogs have some momentum they carry with them to Hillsboro and see what happens. So some really interesting matchups. Again, I look at that Mexico-Hannibal game. Again, it's a rematch. Seems like we say this a lot this time of year, especially on the Missouri side, because a lot of the conference teams end up in the same districts. So you're looking at a bunch of rematches. But with that said, I think Hannibal is the best team in Class 4 District 5. Maybe one of the best defenses in Class 4, period. I know everybody over in Kearney will probably disagree with me and put them, that they're up there, and they may very well be the best defense in Class 4. And those two could be headed for a head-to-head matchup in the state semifinals if all plays out that way. I believe that's how the bracket falls, that they would have to run into each other. But with a week off, with that first round bye, I'm going to be interested to see, especially after Hannibal lost in Week 9 at Fort Zumwalt West, again, a Class 6 school. But again, defense had some mistakes in that game and gave up a little bit, and it ended up costing them. So they need to get their swagger back. They need to get back in rhythm, and I fully expect Jeff Gishwinder and his staff to really do that. We tried to have him on Monday Night Lights again this week. We've tried a couple different times between JV games and other commitments. It just hasn't worked out. Maybe next week. Maybe there won't be any problems next week. And I hope Coach Gishwinder had fun at his daughter's recital tonight. We did try to get him on, just for you Pirate fans out there. No, we haven't forgot about him. It just hasn't worked out. The schedule just has been rough on Monday nights, which it's understandable. It's Monday night. So again, really looking forward to the Missouri District semifinals this week. Again, the big game on the docket, Palmyra at Monroe City. We will be staffing that game. We'll have complete coverage of that game. Chris Stewart's going to be there. And really looking forward to see what happens throughout all these district games and see if that's a precursor to what happens Saturday in Illinois for the second round playoff games. So really excited about this weekend and a lot to look forward to. And we got some other fun stuff to look forward to, like the adjustment of the week and Shuck 'em Up hit of the week. So we're going to take a break so we can get to those when we come back. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
Since 1985, Hess Auto Agency has been your trusted source for pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area. Families have experienced the Hess difference for generations and know they'll get the best vehicle buying experience in our region. With an ever-changing inventory, you'll find the right car at the right price. So when you want the best, don't guess. Choose Hess. Hess Auto Agency, 1124 North 24th in Quincy.
Top 5 reasons you should choose
Blessing Raymond College.
Small classes, peer tutoring, and lots of personal attention.
Financial aid opportunities, including grants, scholarship, and loan forgiveness.
Successful outcomes, from pass rates to job placement.
Hands-on learning, clinical experience at multiple sites, and no wait list.
The Simulation Center.
Master clinical skills in this state-of-the-art facility.
Be ready for anything.
What are you waiting for?
Enroll with Blessing Raymond College today.
Kitchen and Bath Gallery of Quincy. Trained craftsmen and expert contractors with friendly professional service. Our design team helps with every step of the process, guiding you from a vision to reality with uncompromised service. Trust your home to the local experts. Get a free quote today. From concept to creation, Kitchen and Bath create remarkable spaces and innovative builds. Kitchen and Bath Gallery, your home reimagined.
Are you as excited as we are that football season is back? Then you need to make Jersey's your one-stop destination for mouth-watering burgers, ice-cold beer, and all your local sporting events. So gather your crew and speed over to one of Jersey's 2 locations, 109 East Jefferson and Camp Point, or 115 East Main Street, Mount Sterling. Jersey's Bar and Grill, your hometown sports bar.
We love beer!
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, live from the CDS Office Technology Studios in downtown Quincy.
Well, we need to do a little house cleaning here real quick. We had some stuff going on tonight we want to give you updates on. The Quincy Notre Dame boys soccer team was playing in the Class 1A Super Sectional at Mendota, and the Raiders season comes to an end. Mendota with a 2-1 victory. The Raiders tied the game in the second half at 1. Minutes later, Mendota scored the go-ahead goal, ended up with a 2-1 victory. The Raiders ended up winning 7 games on the season, 4 in the postseason. Their brutal schedule paid off in the end because it got them to a super sectional. They took their lumps during the regular season, but when it came to the Class 1A postseason, they made a run. So fantastic run by the Raiders. Their season comes to an end. We also have volleyball coming up this week. The Hannibal volleyball team, never say die. This team has been down I don't know how many times in the postseason and rallied to win. And now the Pirates, for the first time in program history, are in the Class 4 state Final Four. That takes place Wednesday and Thursday in St. Joe, Missouri at the St. Joe Civic Center. Our guy Shane Holsey will be hitting the road and bringing you highlights and a complete coverage of the Pirates in the state tournament. So you can look forward to that later this week. We also have Illinois sectional volleyball going on in the Class 1A and Class 2A levels. I'm going to head to Beardstown tomorrow night to watch the Quincy Notre Dame volleyball team take on Staunton in the Beardstown sectional semifinals. Chris Dewar's going to head over to New Berlin, where both Southeastern and Mendon Unity are playing in the sectional semifinals, not against each other. So we could have 2 area teams in the sectional final battling each other if both win tomorrow night. Win tomorrow night. Those sectional championship matches are Thursday night. So we'll, again, complete coverage of those coming up. And we'll see which team makes a big adjustment to win, especially if they fall behind. You know, Hannibal's done that. They've made some adjustments here, there, multiple times throughout the postseason because a big-time adjustment can help you win a game. It can also help you feel better if you get an adjustment on your back. What is this week's adjustment of the game? We're about to find out. Let's check it out, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. The adjustment of the week brought to you by Adjustin Chiropractic.
Tired of that old sports injury taking you out of the game? Give us a call at Adjustin Chiropractic to see if we can help you get back to living your life and doing the things that you love and enjoy doing. Now back to the guys. Here's the play that adjusted the outcome of the game.
Well, Kason Augsburg's 80-yard interception return for a touchdown kind of really changed the tone of that district quarterfinal game last Friday night in Palmyra. Because what happened was Clark County scored on its opening possession on a pass over the middle of the field to get into the end zone. And then Augsburg took away a pass over the middle, turned it into a big play, turned it into a return for a touchdown. And Clark County couldn't really throw the ball over the middle of the field any longer. So that really changed the tone of the game. And obviously Palmyra went on to roll 69-18 in that district quarterfinal. But early on it was 7-7. Augsburg makes that play. And then suddenly all the momentum is on Palmyra's side and Palmyra rolled with it. The fact Palmyra won was not a surprise, but the fact that Clark County came out and battled right out of the gate, give the Indians credit, because it hadn't been the smoothest of years. They'd given up 82 points to the Panthers in the regular season matchup. So everybody kind of knew what might happen, especially if the ball got rolling one direction or the other. And Augsburg's big interception in return for a touchdown got the ball rolling in the Panthers' direction, and they cruised into the district semifinals, where they will travel to Monroe City on Friday night, play at Langford Field, 7 o'clock kickoff. And all because Case and Augsburg made the adjustment of the week, and the Palmyra defense did as well, taking away the pass over the middle from Clark County and forcing the Indians to do some things that maybe they weren't as comfortable doing. So thank you to Dr. J at Adjustin Chiropractic for always sponsoring the adjustment of the week. And coming up next, we've got the Shuck 'em Up hit of the week, and I like it. It's a big-time hit from a big-time player. So make sure you stick around. Shuck 'em Up's coming up next, right here on Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
Well, no matter what you're looking to buy this fall, we can help you save, including on flannel. We got Thread Grit men's and women's plaid for under $30, or we got $15 off Thread Grit jeans. Or take $8 off our wide selection of Wideology big bags of dog food. And it's getting cold out. No matter what size of heater you need, well, we got it, including this one that's under $35. See all these deals and more right now at farmandhomesupply.com.
We believe that accessing care close to home is better for you and better for your family. For 120 years, Hannibal Regional has been committed to providing community-based, contemporary health care. From state-of-the-art surgical care to innovative cancer care, and now life-saving open-heart surgery. We are dedicated to expanding access to exceptional care in each of the communities we serve. Hannibal Regional, why go anywhere else?
So what separates us most from all the other dealerships? It's the Toyota brand itself.
Once they buy a Toyota, they never buy anything else. #1 vehicle on the market, the best sedan on the market, some of the best reliable trucks on the market. And our main goal here is to try and get our customers the best payment possible.
We know the process and we pass that along to you.
We're simply looking to buy vehicles off the street.
And we want all makes and models of vehicles.
And you don't even have to buy anything in return. We'll just simply purchase it from you.
We can purchase a vehicle in 10 or 15 minutes or less.
Meet us at the Scoreboard,
8th in York and Quincy.
The home of Quincy's best cheeseburger is now under new ownership. All our time-tested menu items, along with some great new additions, all cooked on our perfectly seasoned grill, are waiting for you.
New wings and new sauces.
Ice cold buckets at some of the best prices in town.
Or even in a frosted mug.
Corner bar comfort for your favorite game on 7 big screens. Or play your own game and win big.
The Scoreboard, 8th in York and Quincy.
Area Distributors is a provider of products and services in the restaurant environment, the school environment, the factory environment, the office environment, and in the healthcare settings.
That's the value of Area Distributors, is that we help our customers out by providing them more product as one distributor.
I can tell you, if you call us and have a need, you're going to get timely response.
It's all about passion.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman. We are nearing the end of hour number 2 of our 2-hour sojourn into playoff football and prep girls basketball. And starting next week, we'll probably get into more college basketball talk and boys basketball, because practices will begin on that side next week. So look forward to that, and look forward to digging in more on the basketball scene. But we still got a lot of football to get to. We got playoff games, we got district games, we've got rivalry games, we've got, fierce matchups. It's going to be a fun weekend of football. Even though there's not a huge slate of games, we got some really good games, some really fun games. And we saw some really good action this past weekend in the Illinois playoffs, which leads us to the Shuck 'em Up hit of the week. And we could have gone a whole variety of ways just from one game alone. With the way the Macomb defense played. We talked to Macomb coach Tanner Horrell earlier tonight about that, about how good and how salty his defense was. Dave Wilson, the defense coordinator, tremendous coach, tremendous job getting that defense ready to take on Hillcrest. But one of the guys that has been the linchpin of that defense all season, junior linebacker Drake May, stuck the quarterback from Hillcrest with a big hit. And it's this week's Shuck 'em Up Hit of the Week.
Shuck 'em up!
You know, it's a lot of fun to watch the Bombers fly around the tarmac and get the job done. And again, he wasn't the only one with a big hit. So we could have gone a couple of different routes with the Shuck 'em Up Hit of the Week. But when I saw that highlight from Chris Dewar and saw what Drake May did and the reaction afterward, and it just fit the theme of Shuck 'em Up, because that's what he did to that quarterback. He shucked him up. So Drake May, the Macomb junior linebacker, with this week's Shuck 'em Up Hit of the Week. Big play in a big game, and another huge game coming up this Saturday again at the tarmac as Macomb plays host to Geneseo in a second-round Class 4A matchup. That game, I believe, is kicking off at 1 o'clock. I did misspeak earlier where I thought Hannibal and Kearney were going to maybe run into each other in the semifinals. Our ever-on-the-spot producer, Remington Yates, looked it up for me while I was jabbering along and informed me that Kearney and Hannibal are on opposite sides of the bracket, so they would not meet up till the state championship game. Maybe that's a precursor. Him looking it up is a precursor to what we're going to find out here in the next few weeks, that Hannibal gets there, Kearney gets there, and that would be a whale of a matchup in a state championship game if that were to actually take place. So, again, wanted to make sure I corrected that. Again, I hadn't looked ahead that far on the brackets. I was trying to focus, again, one day at a time, as the coach says, or next play. That's the way I was doing. I was looking at this weekend. I hadn't looked that far down the road. So shout out to my producer, Remington Yates, for hooking me up with the information there. And again, big weekend ahead. District semifinals on Friday night. Illinois' second-round playoff games on Saturday. We've got college football going on. Culver Stockton College and Quincy University both on the road this week. And we're on the cusp of college basketball. So we actually had college basketball games tonight that mattered. Western Illinois went on the road to Radford, and it was close. I believe, let me look real quick, 80-75, the Leathernecks lost to Radford. And the first of 4 games on the road to start their season. Had a great shuck on a truck with Chad Boudreau, the WIU coach, last week. Make sure you go check that out at muddyriversports.com. And we'll get more. He's going to join us here in studio at one point coming up in the next few weeks. He's already offered to drive down from Macomb, make sure he's here, hang out with us in the studio. Who knows? We might even get Quincy University coach Brad Hoyt in here in the same night. And Lord help us if that's the case, because it'll be fun. So we need to take one more break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. Make sure you stick around. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
When you trust your healthcare needs to MDH, you'll receive the highest quality, compassionate care from our nationally accredited medical departments and award-winning staff. We are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, providing exceptional care right here in Macomb. We also accept Aetna, HealthLink, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and most other insurance plans for your convenience. McDonough District Hospital, your regional healthcare partner, growing our legacy one patient at a time.
Does the thought of retirement overwhelm you? You are not alone. For over 25 years, Benson Financial Group has helped people just like you craft a plan to retire with purpose. Call us today in Quincy and Hannibal.
For 135 years, State Street Bank has stood as a pillar of trust and stability in Quincy, Illinois. For generations, families have trusted State Street Bank to be part of their biggest moments. We look forward to the future with gratitude and excitement. thank you for being part of our journey. State Street Bank, 135 years of banking you can trust.
Neiman's, your neighborhood market.
Kitchen and Bath Gallery of Quincy. Trained craftsmen and expert contractors with friendly professional service. Our design team helps with every step of the process, guiding you from a vision to reality with uncompromised service. Trust your home to the local experts. Get a free quote today. From concept to creation, Kitchen and Bath create remarkable spaces and innovative builds. Kitchen and Bath Gallery, your home reimagined.
Not sure you're ready for retirement? With over 25 years of experience, the team at Benson Financial Group will meet you right where you are and craft a plan that's right for you. Call us today in Quincy and Hannibal.
Welcome back to Monday Night Lights, live from the CDS Office Technology Studios in downtown Quincy.
Well, we're near the end of this 2-hour fun Monday night chatter about high school football and high school basketball. We'll dig more into college basketball starting next week. We actually had Brad Hoyt, the Quincy University men's basketball coach, on last week, and we'll get more into that as we move forward. We had a lot of playoff football talk going on tonight, which was fantastic. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us on the Hess Auto Agency hotline. Camp Point Central Offensive Coordinator Casey Ray, Brown County Coach Tom Little, Monroe City Coach David Kirby, and Macomb Coach Tanner Worrell all joined us via the hotline. And then Quincy High School girls basketball coach Brad Dance popped in right here to the CDS Office Technology Studio as the Illinois girls began official practices today. So the Blue Devils are getting prepped for their season. Our guy Shane Holsey out and about this afternoon and early this evening, checking out some high school practices. So he'll have a package for us coming up tomorrow at MuddyRiverSports.com as the teams get ready for their upcoming season, which is only 2 weeks away. Crazy to think about that we're on the cusp of high school basketball. Still plenty of football to get to. A lot to look forward to. Again, 3 Illinois playoff games involving our area schools coming up on Saturday. Macomb will be taking on Geneseo at the Tarmac. That's a 1 o'clock kickoff in Macomb. And then the big game on the Illinois side of the river as far as our coverage area goes. Brown County heading to Camp Point Central for a rematch of their Week 6 showdown in the second round of the Class 1A playoffs. It is going to be electric in Camp Point on Saturday. I'm going to get there early, park the truck in the end zone, and get ready to see how many people flood that field on Saturday. I believe the estimated crowd when they met in Week 6 was 1,700. It's going over 2,000 this week. Almost guarantee it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I believe the gates are going to open at 10:45 a.m. for a 1 o'clock kickoff. And I think the same thing, I think there were an 11 a.m., gates opened at 11 a.m. last week for the first round matchup, and there were people there lining up to get in as early as 10:30. So kind of crazy when you think about it, but a lot of fun, going to be a lot of fun. And again, that all comes after our Friday night district games. Mexico at Hannibal. You've got South Shelby going to Scotland County. You've got Highland at Putnam County. You've got Bowling Green at home. You've got Louisiana on the road. And the big one, Palmyra at Monroe City, round 2 of the Mayor's Cup, taking place at Langford Field, 7 o'clock Friday night. We will have previews as the week goes on at MuddyRiverSports.com. And I'm working on a couple maybe fun Shuck on a Trucks to see how that goes. So really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to this entire week. And then I also got to get started on basketball previews because our college basketball teams are up and ready to go. So we got some stuff cooking. I will actually be at a college basketball game on Friday night. John Wood men are at home Friday night for their home lid lifter. They actually opened on the road this week I believe on Tuesday night. and then their home lid lifters on Friday night. So I'll be checking them out on Friday night. It's time to get to everything, and we got all the volleyball stuff going on. Remember, Hannibal Volleyball playing in the state Final Four in Class 4, taking place Wednesday night are the semifinals. Third place game and championship are Thursday. Our guy Shane Holsey will be in St. Joseph, Missouri at the St. Joe Civic Center, bringing you all the highlights and coverage of the Hannibal volleyball team. So make sure you check out MuddyRiverSports.com all week long for all the coverage of all the sports. We're doing our best to get everywhere and wrangle up all the highlights for you. This has been another episode of Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. See you next week.